everyone, it's me Ghost Girl again, and as you can see I'm able to film in the house today. I don't know how much time I've got to film till my mum comes back, but I might need to do a location change at some point, just to let you know, depending on how long this video is going to be. But today's story is again about my gran. I have had people saying that they like it when I tell stories about my grandparents, so I'm going to be telling you a story about my gran and the time she decided to play with a Ouija board and why you shouldn't play with Ouija boards. So I'm sure most people nowadays know what a Ouija board is, but it's called a Ouija board or a spirit board, and basically it's used to contact spirits with. It's like a board and it's got all these letters on it, and it's a pick, and you move the pick around the board. It's like the spirit moves the pick and you've all to put your hands on it, and it like talks to you, but you're not meant to use them because a Ouija board, actually you're opening a portal from another world and anything can like come through and like speak to you, and then you basically just allowed this thing like into your home, and basically this thing's going to be able to haunt you and terrorise you and basically stay the living daylights out of you. The amount of people that I've known that have played Ouija board and they've brought like a demon into their house and like the demon's like haunted them or possessed them, or people have actually died from playing this game. Like, I'm being deadly serious. Like, this one person that I know played Ouija board and then their house went on fire, and yeah, the stories that I've heard online where people have played it and the house has exploded or something and everyone's like died, and it's just crazy. Like, you just shouldn't do it, and I'm hoping that me telling my grand story about the Ouija board will kind of put people off a bit and like get people to like think, oh no, maybe I shouldn't play this game if I want to not die. Like, my gran didn't die, but she could have. So I'm just going to get to it, guys. So this is a story of the time when my gran played Ouija board. So it was my mum and dad had died, and my gran wanted to know if they were okay, and she wanted to know about the afterlife and what was like in store and stuff. And someone had told my gran about this thing called a Ouija board, and it can be used to contact spirits. And they told her that this Ouija board could help her talk to her mum and dad so she can find out about her mum and dad. And my gran was desperate because her parents had just passed away, and back then this was back like in the I think it was 50s, 60s. So back then a lot of people didn't really see or go to mediums because it was seen as like bad, and a lot of mediums were seen as con artists, or a lot of people would accuse them of being con artists and saying, oh, they're just ripping folk off, they're just taking advantage of people, which is not the case. Like, a lot of mediums and psychics are here to help people with spirit and help spirits get to rest and put people at ease and more peace. It's not meant to like scare people, but back then people thought, oh, it's going to scare you, she's going to curse you, she's going to say something that you didn't want to hear. Or a lot of people thought that back then that going to a medium and doing stuff like that was seen as evil and bad, and that these people would go to hell for doing that, which isn't the case, because you're actually helping people. And people, I'm not an expert on like the afterlife, okay, I'm just saying I'm not an expert on heaven or hell or anything like that. I'm not claiming to be an expert, but as far as like I know, you don't go to hell for like helping people. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, that's like me saying that you're gonna go to hell for helping an old lady like cross the road or something. That's just mental, thinking that way. Like, someone's gonna go like to hell for that. So it's like the same like concept, if you get what I mean. You're not gonna go to hell for talking to spirits or like helping people get peace with their ancestors, or doing readings or tarot, or like talking to spirits or helping them cross over and that. You're not going to go to hell for that. Trust me, there's a lot worse people, evil people out there that have done evil, sick things that deserve to go to hell. I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying that anyone deserves to go to hell, but like, there are some really evil people out there, guys, that probably, if there is a hell, like, I'm not debating on, like, you can believe whatever you want, but like, if there's a hell, there is some really evil people out there that are more likely to go to hell than you talking to like a ghost, if you get what I mean. But anyway, so my gran tried this like Ouija board thing, and she was like going around with the pig. She was like, put her hand on the pig, and my granddad was there, and he refused to play because like, he just doesn't like talking about this kind of stuff or getting involved in this kind of stuff. Like, my granddad didn't even like talking about religion. Like, if anyone started talking about religion in his house, he would get like really mad and really angry about it, and he just didn't like getting involved or talking about this kind of stuff. So he refused to play, and he just like sat at the side when my gran like was on the Ouija board. And when she was on it, as I was saying before, like, a Ouija board opens a portal from another dimension, so anything can kind of come through, really. I wasn't at the time very about spirits or the spirit world or anything like that at the time. Obviously, she has a better understanding now after all that, but at the time my gran didn't really know anything about that. I think my granddad was a bit more educated than her, but not to the point where he knew that this was like a dangerous thing. But my granddad and his family, there are a lot of them, I think that's where I inherited my gifts from, because a lot of them were like travelling persons, and they were like psychics and mediums. And I think I have a descendant that used to practice the cups and do like the psychic tea leaf thing. So I think he knew a bit more than my gran, but obviously not enough to intervene in the way that could have stopped this. But anyway, my gran was in the middle of doing Ouija board, and she contacted an evil spirit or entity or demon or whatever it is that you want to believe in, and this demon told her that she was going to get cancer and that she was going to die. And my gran freaked out and started screaming her head off. You know, I've said this about her in a video at all. She's always screaming about things and going mental and all that. And my Uncle Donald, I think he was still living with my gran and granddad at the time. He came into the house and he seen my gran screaming and that, and was like, what is actually going on here? Like, what is going on? And then my gran started screaming at him, telling him what was going on. And he's like, oh, come on, Mum, you know this stuff's all a load of rubbish, there's no such thing as that. And then the board started moving again, and it started saying things about my Uncle Donald, stuff that my Uncle Donald would only know. And he was like, Mum, are you moving it? And she was like, no, I'm not moving it, I'm no. And he's like, how does that board thing know that? That is weird. And then my gran started doing all her screaming again, and then one of my grans, like our ancestors or family that dies, came through, and the ancestor, I want to say a he, but I don't know if it was a he, but I'm just going to say he for the benefit of the viewers. He came through and he was like, oh, don't worry, Martha, we've got rid of the demon's gone, you're going to be fine, everything's okay, don't trust that demon, it's lying. So he came through and he vanished, the demon, and then my gran felt better now that had happened. And so she put the Ouija board away, and they got rid of the Ouija board, and they had to get a priest come into the house and bless the house to stop any more evil from coming through. And the priest told them to burn the board, so they burned the board. And then my gran never had dealings with that demon ever again. But the really weird, creepy thing, the demon was actually right in a way. And this may freak some people out or sound confusing, but I'm going to start explaining. So, years and years later, when I was about, I'm going to say I was about 14, 15, but I might have been older or younger than that, I'm not sure. But I know I was definitely above the age of 12 because I was about high school age. One time I was at my gran's and they found a mark on my gran's back, and my gran had never seen that mark before. My granddad thought it was chocolate. She was sitting wiping it off thinking it was chocolate and it wouldn't come off. So my gran thought it was a weird mark, so she phoned the doctor, and a few days later the doctor came round and he looked at the mark and he thought it was weird too, so he took a photo of it on his phone and then took it to someone that's specialises in cancer, like a cancer doctor, and the cancer doctor wanted a sample of my gran's back, so my gran had to go to the hospital and get given painkillers and stuff, and they had to remove the mark off her, and it was quite a big mark on her back, so she had to actually be kind of going to theatre to get it taken out. And then they stitched her up and stuff, and then she went back home. She was able to go home the same day kind of thing, and we waited, and it was about a week or so later, and it turns out that the mark on her back was melanoma, which is basically a type of skin cancer. And we were all freaking out because we were like, oh my god, does my gran have cancer? And it turns out that they were able to get the mark away before the cancer could do anything to her, so they got it in time. But I never really got over that, and I think that's scary how that demon predicted that she would have cancer, and she did. She got melanoma, but luckily they spotted it quickly before the cancer could take root inside her. But it turns out the demon wasn't so wrong after all, if they predicted that and that happened to her. I think that is the most scariest part of the story personally. I've never really got over that story or that experience, to be honest. I still kind of think about it sometimes at night when I'm alone. But yeah, so I think if that story doesn't convince you to no play Ouija board, I don't know what will. But guys, I can't stress to you right enough, don't play Ouija board, please don't. It's not worth it, especially if you end up getting something evil coming through. It's just not worth it. It messes with your vibe as well. It messes with your life, and there is ways to contact spirits without messing around with a Ouija board. If you want to contact spirits, I'd recommend you do tarot or go and see a medium or take up a medium course or something so that you can become a medium. But guys, don't use a Ouija board. Even runes or something is better than a Ouija board. So the moral of the story is today, don't play Ouija board. I can't stress that well enough. Don't play. But anyway guys, that's the story today. I hope you guys found this story interesting. If you did, then please click the like button, click on subscribe to my channel, click on that notification bell so that you'll be notified when my next videos come out. Also, I've got Twitter. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I've got a few people have followed me on Twitter, but I'm still getting like all the businesses and stuff, and I don't know what they want, but it's a bit. But anyway, guys, that is everything for me today. I hope you all have a nice day. Stay safe and goodbye.